So, starting on Fruit Land in 3, 2, and 1. So, spawning up here in the top right-hand corner, we do have our red Protoss player, TickleMyElmo.
And as the pink Zerg pieces here in the bottom left, Fruit Land, Xenomorph.
And I do like the ode to fruit there.
I fucking love fruit.
That's right.
This is kind of a strange map. I wasn't really sure. You said you got it from the GSL, but I wasn't exactly sure, how this became a thing,
Yeah, in one of these versions, there's these big like lemons out here in the middle. Like, there's something about them on the actual like GSL map. I believe it's their extra mineral patches or something. They have something to do with like extra mineral income, which is why this map really appealed to me. And yes, as TickleMyElmo does say, my Avast antivirus software is updated, but this is a tiny map. It's actually a really small map when you look at the rush distances from one side to the other. And TickleMyElmo going to get the first scout off here.
So if we wanted a small map, I think we throw Steps of War into the pool. We'll see how the guys like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm thinking like game number 1 for all tournament games. Like, once we get to the bracket, does that sound good? Steps of War.
Where you can piss off of one natural onto the other.
Exactly. Hey man, like back in the day, it was not uncommon to be sieging your opponent from your natural. Like, that happened.
Something tells me that it wasn't quite that bad.
No, it wasn't quite that bad, but it's still close. It was very close. But we do have TickleMyElmo with a nice patrol path up here. Spawning pool and gas down for Xenomorph.
Well, I wonder what TickleMyElmo is up to. Is he saving up for a Nexus because he hasn't got a gateway, any gas?
You know what this is? That's exactly what this is. Oh no, a forge. Okay.
Forge. So maybe just a little bit late there.
Yeah, I think in trying to scout around his opponent's base and like queue all these waypoints and things, he just kind of he dropped the ball a little bit on that one. But this is going to be basically, I would call this an 18 food expand at this point because the forge isn't done. You're not going to have a cannon down quite yet, but I would call it the 18 food expand.
Hey there, Forever Bronze. Thanks for joining us. Land.
Yeah, Fruit Land, Forever Bronze. And we have Roach Warren.
Ooh, well, this is not surprising coming out of Xenomorph. We know he definitely likes his Roach play, and it is 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, and that Roach Warren is just about halfway done.
One thing I would... What's that?
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, looking at TickleMyElmo's pylon placement, I'm not a huge fan of that. Those pylons are both very exposed. Artosis is more than likely going to be in the building if that ever gets attacked.
Yeah, and there also is a little gap between that pylon and the forward. But we saw in the first this is perfectly and
yeah, exactly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give up this expansion. He does actually have the lead now since his expansion is just done. Not even put on yet. So, this is going to be a 7-rush rush out of TickleMyElmo.
Yeah. Exactly what's going on. He went for an expansion. Respond down a few.
Yeah, definitely. And I do like this play a lot in terms of just feeling more, especially, when you see your opponent doesn't defend, you almost expect it to happen.
Just made silver like 2 minutes ago, so I guess it's so Forever Bronze, right?
Congrats, Forever Bronze. Big heart to you. You can't see it because I don't have a camera going, but big heart to you.
Oh, and the roaches are heading across the fruit.
That fruit. God, I love this map.
The Overlord here with 11 health is going to see the cannons and the Zealot there, and it gets shot once and dies. And supply blocking Xenomorph there.
That's no fun. But again, okay, now we did cover our bases with this pylon, but at the same time, this is still pretty rough. He's going to go ahead and pick one off, but it's not going to unpower really anything.
Micro saves one of those roaches.
Ooh, fancy, fancy.
Hit behind with the Zealot.
Uh-oh. The Zealot, the backdoor Zealot.
Yeah, all
Taken.
of these roaches
Uh-oh.
gonna fall.
Oh, but Artosis is in the building for that one. Now he does manage to unpower
A few more
the
roaches on the
cyber.
way.
The cyber core is unpowered, as is a cannon. Now there is.
And that also losing those 2 pylons did supply block TickleMyElmo, so he won't be able to reinforce the front here. Ooh, another roach falls for Xenomorph.
He's gonna go ahead and try and pick away at this pylon though, and again we see kind of the vulnerability here.
A pylon lives, and that is going to buy TickleMyElmo the crucial time he needs to get a few extra pylons down.
And the pylons come up. Everything is all peachy again now. TickleMyElmo doing the Tyler and throwing a bunch of pylons down all at once. Some of them for obvious reasons, others not so much. So anybody in the chat, can you guys hear the music? I did change my output. Hopefully somebody can hear it. The expansion for Xenomorph is down now, so Xenomorph going to go ahead and just drone up on that expansion, and oh, we have a proxy pylon coming out of TickleMyElmo.
That is going to be very much in the sight of that Overlord there from Xenomorph, so he's going to see that proxy pylon. But it looks like he's just content to continue the pressure. That pylon is going to fall quickly, but these cannons are being powered by a few extra pylons in the back there. He's not going to be able to break down this little wall off here anytime soon.
Yeah, and with only like 3 or 4 roaches at a time, that's actually a really bad position. I'm actually surprised he went through with the first couple of attacks and just continued to try and batter down that front door. As we saw, it really didn't pay out.
4 more gateways in production, as well as a robo facility. TickleMyElmo just doesn't want to have this anymore, and he's gonna drop down those production buildings and build up an army.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's the beauty in this, is at this point, he knows he's ahead. He managed to delay that expansion from Xenomorph for a really long time, so he knows Xenomorph has got to be, if not choking on minerals right now, he's got to be like way behind in the harvester count. And actually, if we go ahead and look at the units tab, we do have 50 probes to 26 drones, so that is in fact the case, and that puts TickleMyElmo in a really big lead.
At this point, if I was Xenomorph, I would just call it off. You can't break this down no matter how many roaches you have. Your opponent is just ready for it. He's had the second base for a long time. He's got several gateways up as well as that robo. He's probably going to make an immortal or 2 here soon. And the mothership core sees what's going on there, and it looks like he's going to pull back.
Yeah, and I like that play a lot because as it sits right now, he is on 11 roaches to 3 cannons, a sentry, and a bunch of not exposed pylons. And the Zealot Warpin.
The Zealot Warpin are going to start doing some damage to that natural expansion there. The roaches have spawned, and they're going to start trying to take care of these Zealots. And I think that's going to be enough to save his hatchery there.
Yeah, I think he's going to get this cleaned up just fine. The drone's getting in a little bit of fighting there, and then back to the mineral line.
When these stalkers from TickleMyElmo are going to get taken care of by the roaches. Also, Nation92 asking, how do you sign up for the Felicity Cup? I did send you a message on Facebook, so you might want to go back and check that. And that proxy pylon is going to get cleaned up by those 2 roaches there.
Oh, but a little bit of miscue there by TickleMyElmo with those stalkers. Losing a couple of them there, more than probably should have. Some roaches coming out across the map now to see exactly what's going on.
The first immortal squeezing between that forge and the warp gate to join the fray here.
He got skinny.
Crab walking.
Yeah.
Crab walking.
Oh, and actually a really bad position for those roaches to try and flank. Especially with only 3 of them, they were pretty much easy prey.
1-1 in progress for Xenomorph, but 1 melee attack and not missile attack, so I wonder if he's going to plan to transition into Zerglings at any point here.
Yeah, and we actually do see Ling Speed on the way as well, so I do think that's definitely the transition. Now, we do have a Hydralisk Den out also for Xenomorph, so maybe Roach Hydra Ling, or maybe into Ling Ultra Infestor? I'm not entirely sure.
That could be pretty cool. I'd like to see some Ultras and Lings here on the field. Yeah, those first few Lings have joined the roaches there, and the third base about halfway done for TickleMyElmo. TickleMyElmo definitely keeping on top of his macro, and meanwhile he's going to be pushing out here. I really like this. This is great timing. You want to push out while you're getting your expansion down to keep your opponent from trying to deny that.
I would actually almost contend too. It would be nice here to see him go ahead and take a fourth behind this, because this is a pretty powerful push, and it seems like he's got control on his side. So
Xenomorph can't quite see the Protoss army there, even though he's got that Zelnaga. And now he sees everything that's going to be happening. Got a few Hydralisks in that mix there. The Lings are getting blocked by the Roaches, and they can't get to the front. I think, yeah, the great force fields from TickleMyElmo is just going to devastate this army from Xenomorph.
Yeah, and those are some really good force fields to keep those Roaches back just far enough and out of range of those Immortals, so that they can go ahead and pick away at the entire army. Another big warp and a Zealots coming in for TickleMyElmo, and this push is pretty deadly.
Yeah. Lots of Stalkers and Zealots here. You know, there are a few Hydralisks there, but great force fields once again, keeping the Lings out. And the Zealots are going to get cleaned up, but this is just a lot of firepower from these Stalkers and Immortals. And there's a GG from Xenomorph. Not expected to end that quickly, but I suppose it was just too much to handle.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really well-played game by TickleMyElmo, and actually, I think Xenomorph got thrown off a little bit when he couldn't just straight away go for that 7 Roach push. I think that being denied, it's one of those moments where, like, oh god, what do I do now?
Yeah, he definitely overcommitted with those Roaches. He really wasn't able to do any sort of damage, even with the earliest push. He got a few pylons, but lost all of his Roaches to, 2 cannons and a single Zealot. So we'll see how Game 2 turns out. If he tries something similar or goes for a 14 pool, 14 hash, maybe something a little bit more safer.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if he decides to change anything up at all. As we've noticed with the DKTL crowd especially, like, they like their builds. They are pretty well set in, here's 1 or 2 builds that I can master and manipulate, and they're getting really good at it. So
yeah, but when somebody has practiced against your build, you might be a great player and you might have that build mastered, that all in, like I did with the 3 racks and Xenomorph with the Roach Rush. But if somebody's practiced exclusively against that, it's really going to be tough for you to find something else to do.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like, you can definitely imagine these players going back and seeing what they did wrong, seeing how they can improve for next time. I mean, we've definitely seen that trend of improvement over the course of the first 3 rounds of the HSL.
My are you using a game card?
No, I'm not. I'm actually using one of the Blizzard UIs.
Okay, so that explains why you had the replay stuff over there.
Yeah.
Might I recommend GameHeart?
No.
What?
That's right. Spawning here on the bottom side in 3, 2, 1. We have our red Protoss player. We have TickleMyElmo. And usually the way I would hide that is I have an overlay that's supposed to go over that, but I forgot to load that in.
Oh, shit in the bed.
Yep, I know. I'm sorry.
It wouldn't be a Hive Mind stream without some bed shitting.
That's right.
On the top side of Polar Knight, the Pink Zerg Xenomorph down in this series 0-1 definitely needs to come back hard and strong, or else he's going to be defeated here in the series. Definitely likes his Roaches.
He does definitely like his Roaches, as TickleMyElmo does like his Forge Fast Expand.
Dropping that pylon down there at the natural, so definitely going to be another sort of quick expansion, whether it's Gateway or Forge. Remains to be seen. But if he is comfortable with that Forge Fast Expand, if that is something he has practiced repeatedly, I would go ahead and expect that he will do that once again.
Yeah, and looking at it this way, I think TickleMyElmo definitely has his build pinned on just solely being able to go Forge Fast Expand, because just the way he's setting himself up now, very, very reminiscent of how he was set up last game. So, if it worked, why change it?
Nation92 asking in the chat, am I the only Terran in this tourney? No, you are not. We also have Bertelli, which I believe you actually played before, so you can fix your memory a little bit there, Jeff. And the spawning pool for Xenomorph. Dropping down there at 14. So yeah, definitely not going for the Roach Rush that we saw last game.
Now we do see the probe block from TickleMyElmo. Gonna get dealt with here by Xenomorph. And actually, it looked like that probe was on patrol.
It was. And it didn't actually attack back at that drone. Looks like TickleMyElmo still going to try to, oh, he's going to build a pylon there. He's gonna get
block it. Yeah,
oh,
no.
Denied.
So that is one time where that does get...
and he just goes back. He's not even going to try to build the base. He just leaves.
And actually, we still have yet to see an expand out of TickleMyElmo. So everything actually... I think Tickle...
the roach aboard. Completely thrown off there. It looks like he decided to go ahead and have a change of plans.
You know, this is one time when I actually do like this roach play because of that back ice. You can run around. You can.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, like you can avoid the cannons altogether and just bust it from the back.
Xenomorph actually supply blocked right now, getting an Overlord out there, so that Queen was delayed quite a bit. So this roach push is probably going to be a little bit delayed, but we'll see if it actually works. If he decides to go around back or through the front here, we've got the Forge and the Gateway also in front this time, not behind the pylons like we saw last time, so definitely an improvement there on building placement.
You know, at the same time, though, there's still two big gaps here. And, you know, this is actually the issue that people are having on the map now, Daedalus, or Daedalus, whatever it is.
Diddly Squat, yeah.
Diddly Squat.
That is...
This is a freakishly large ramp that Protoss players haven't really had to defend something like this in a really long time. And I know I made this comment when Aurelius entered the tournament as well in his first couple games. You know, you get over here and you try and do this, and this is just a really awkward area to try and block.
The probe up there from TickleMyElmo getting picked off by roaches, so TickleMyElmo definitely knows what's up. He's building a second cannon there in response and getting a zealot out. He's going to be prepared for this roach push, and you know, unless he decides to go around and kill the ice, I don't think it's going to work. Third photon cannon also going down. This is the exact same response we saw last time, and you know, he knows how to handle the early roaches. So we will see here. Xenomorph now moving out with his roaches. Gonna get caught here by this probe here at any moment.
Yeah, the probe is definitely going to see everything that is going on. He's going to see those roaches coming across the map, and hopefully TickleMyElmo responds accordingly. And also, I've got my fingers crossed right now that Xenomorph actually sees that back attack path.
Also, the proxy pylon from TickleMyElmo right there.
That
is awesome. This is just going to be the backdoor cannon, going to deny this expansion here, unless he finds it and looks like the Xenomorph is on top of that. But at the same time, the roach is at the natural for TickleMyElmo.
Oh no! The back door. These back rocks. Go do it.
I don't think he's thinking about that right now. All these roaches are going to die. Not a single kill from those. I mean, they got one of the pylons, but just losing all those roaches definitely not worth it.
Yeah, that was not a good trade, and like I said, I was kind of hoping he would have found this back attack path. These rocks actually not that much health when you have a bunch of roaches.
Yeah, really, I think that it could have been a really, really good play out of Xenomorph going all the way around. And lol, I shouldn't text and play. I suppose you should be paying attention to your tournament game there, Xenomorph. Or is that just excuses? What do you think? Natural for Xenomorph just finished there.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to mute to answer a question quick. But yeah, we do see TickleMyElmo going to continue to go ahead and produce them probers. The expansion from Xenomorph is done, and he's going to continue to drone up as well. And we do see a Stargate just finishing up. So I'm sorry if I was double casting any of that, but I was catching up on my own to make sure that I had everything.
No, we do see the Zealot here at the natural taking care of this pylon because he's stuck.
That poor guy.
He's got his work cut out for him right now.
He does. Does that actually count as a kill towards his kill? No. I was going to say, because that would be overpowered. Oh, and the dog was going to come and say hi to me.
We can hear the dog.
That's right. Ewok says hi. He's not killing. He's no longer killing esports right now.
You think so?
No,
I have a feeling he might be. We
no.
also see
No, he's not.
Evo chamber.
No Evo.
Evo chamber.
Oh goodness, we have an Evo chamber and we have a Roach Warren out now for a Roach Warren for TickleMyElmo. That would be impressive. Oracles.
From TickleMyElmo is that Stargate is complete. Yes.
We have a Robo. Robo was the word I was looking for. Comes down.
Okay, and then one Oracle is done, as well as the follow-up Phoenix, as well as several gateways and that Robo being put down.
So we're gonna. I'm actually just following this Oracle right now because I want to see how many kills this actually gets. Was it actually spotted? Because it did fly like right past an Overlord, and we do see in that time the third base for TickleMyElmo is going to go down. The Oracle in the main base is going to pick off a few probes. Actually, oh no, going for the Queen.
Oh. He needs to control that a little bit better there. He got 3 drone kills, but definitely
oh,
close there.
7 health it escapes with. And 3 kills. I wouldn't necessarily call that a good trade, but going back down here to the other action that happened, we have TickleMyElmo taking his third base over here. Now, I like this positioning in this this situation just because you're protecting that back expansion by proxy.
And at the same time, Xenomorph, with the response of 2 Spore Crawlers there in the main, that Oracle is not going to be able to do any more damage, at least in that specific spot.
Oh my god.
A few Spore Crawlers going down, so he's not going to fall to Oracle.
Look at this. 3 workers killed each. In total.
Ooh.
So that Oracle getting those 3 kills, evening things back up. Now we do have level 1 Carapace and missile attacks now on the way. So no melee attacks this time for Xenomorph, but Xenomorph is now supply blocked.
Well, Xenomorph does know that this third base exists here as well, so he's going to send these roaches down to start picking away at it. We will see if it actually falls, but deciding not to wait for 1-1 before he pushes, but 1-1 will be done here shortly.
Right about now. So it is just kicking in, and then the rest of the army from TickleMyElmo coming up here. Nice force field.
Good force field, splitting those roaches up. Definitely not what Xenomorph wants. He needs a little bit of micro there, just not really controlling his units at all, and everything just dies.
Yeah, that was a little bit of miscontrol out of Xenomorph, and TickleMyElmo definitely able to take advantage of that lack of micro.
Warp in here at the third for Xenomorph.
Oh shit, we got Zealots moving up the way.
Going to take care of this third, denying that expansion, and we all know that the Zerg player wants to be a base ahead, especially we're 13 minutes in the game. The Roach Rush failed. He needs to get back into this game by dropping some bases around, and this is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Zealot harass here.
And Elmo actually taking about the standard third base time. That third went down probably about 11 or 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was, I would call that a fairly standard third time for him.
Hydraless Den is just finished. 8 roaches in production with 2-2 on the way. Interesting reveal. This unit or structure is now providing vision for the caster. So,
you know what? That's okay, though, because I believe he gains vision of what's being researched. I think that would be a little OP, but I mean, like, obviously, if you don't expect your opponent to be going for 2-2 by now, that's like,
yeah,
that's a bad build. But yeah, he sees the roaches, he sees the 2 Evo chambers, and that there's a queen sitting there. He knows that his opponent hasn't, in fact, picked up and floated away.
Also, the first Colossus is in production here, and once this third base is up and stable and saturated, we are going to see just a big influx of units.
Oh my god, look at this. Another rowboat, 3 more gateways going down for TickleMyElmo. So Elmo is actually looking to just freaking obliterate Xenomorph. And actually,
roaches here at the top.
Do you see this? This might have been a misclick, but do you see Gravatic boosters in production?
I do. We actually, I don't know, man. I mean, it's not like he's doing anything funky with observers.
The double observatory build. I heard it's good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is this, 1999?
Might be. We could ask Combat X.
We do see the roaches here.
Oh, but more good force fields.
Completely surrounding those roaches with that warp in there. The Immortals are doing quite a number to these roaches here. Only 1 Immortal falling, and all of these roaches are getting taken care of. Oh, I guess that second Immortal did fall there. But the entire push taken care of.
Oh my god.
this is definitely not what Xenomorph wants to be happening right now. Losing pushes left and right. He needs to grab a base. I mean, he did force a lot of those probes to get pulled and actually killed a few of them, but you know, that's just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, if we go look at the workers killed tab, Xenomorph did pull forward. He's up to 14 to the 4 of his opponent. So, I mean, like, he has that going for him, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. He's not really able to secure a third base of his own, and he's just...
I was going to say, especially considering that TickleMyElmo is up to 63 workers. Right now, Xenomorph's sitting at 38. He can kill all the workers he wants, but he has a long way to go before he catches up on the economy.
Yeah.
Fourth base as well for TickleMyElmo here. Definitely getting a grip on that macro.
Yeah, and I think I do agree with the decision for Elmo to use that backdoor natural as a 5th, because at least in this case you've got firm control of the game. You know it's not going anywhere. It's a secure expansion whenever you need it.
The only time that would really be threatened is if there was a big Mutaflock on the map, and we are not seeing that at all. Just lots of roaches with a few Hydras thrown in there. Xenomorph just trying to get that third base as well. It's just about finished, but again, we still see that pylon there just below that third base, and leaving a lot of room, a lot of opportunity for TickleMyElmo to just go in with another Zealot warp in.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I would like to see out of Xenomorph is, you know, more map awareness in terms of coming down and picking off these pylons, finding out where all those proxies are, and actually doing something about it.
Lings here in the third are going to be just tearing away at these probes. Wow. Took a little bit of time for TickleMyElmo to actually respond to that. Yeah, with the photon overcharge there, just taking care of everything.
Now, the question I have is, does photon overcharge, is that affected by weapons upgrades? According to my UI, it's not, but
no, I don't think it is. I think it just does standard damage there.
And the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth falling, and the Roaches and Hydras are just going to get obliterated here by the Colossus and Archons. Oof. But TickleMyElmo definitely needs to get the Zealots that he's running past to the front, or these Colossus are going to fall. There's a little bit of a misclick there, unless he's just deciding to run by completely. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
Ooh, yeah, that was a really bad spot for Elmo to be in. Now, this push is pretty well dead from both players. The Zealots are going to come up here and take care of this fourth base, but I mean, like, the push from Xenomorph is pretty well killed at this point.
Yeah, you know, I feel like that was just a misclick on TickleMyElmo's part. He definitely should not have lost that battle there. Those Zealots were just completely running by, and now getting cleaned up there at the third base for Xenomorph, though. It is not mining at all, so it's effectively just out of the question right now. He's just going to spawn in some Lings and Roaches and head across the map.
Now, it's also important to note that Elmo has units kind of spread out all over the map here, so he's got units to work with. He's got 4 Stalkers and 2 Phoenixes up in his base that he could combine with the rest of his army. He knows there's no immediate threat of Mutalisks, so I'm not sure why they're not with the main army.
Ooh, and it looks like this third is going to fall. Xenomorph taking that down. Is he going to focus down the Colossus? Yes. A lot of Stalkers and another Zealot warp in there, as well as planetary overcharge. Oh yeah,
the planetary Nexus. Actually, that Nexus is going to town. How many kills does the Nexus have? 14, 15, 16?
The third for Xenomorph falls once again. Both of these players just trading. Oh wow, okay, so that Nexus, the third for TickleMyElmo, actually survived with just a few health left. Wow. That is a missed opportunity.
Oh, and look at that chrono boost to get those shields back. That just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
That's really awesome. Also,
it's always
Thor in the chat missing the ZVP. Don't worry, man. You caught the best part of it. And thanks for joining us, man.
Thor, thank you, buddy.
Again, Xenomorph has just got to be so frustrated right now. He cannot take a third. TickleMyElmo doing an excellent job of keeping his opponent to just 2 bases. Also, the Zealots here by the ice, making sure that this back base is not taken as well. Meanwhile, securing his own 4th, rebuilding that, and throwing in some Archons to the mix of Colossus here. And, yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that this third here lived. I mean, it could have ended a lot differently if it was just focused for another second even.
Well, yeah, and I think that's just a product of Xenomorph being kind of on tilt. He is he's making those small mistakes, like not taking out this Nexus. I mean, obviously, look, this Nexus is oversaturated at this point. Had he taken that down, those probes would probably be long-distance mining or over here on the other base. Or dead, potentially, depending upon how he decided to play that out.
Another push from Xenomorph heading across the map here. And I really think this is not going to go over as awfully as that last engagement did for TickleMyElmo, though. Yep, exactly. There is just going to crush that push, and there's a GG from Xenomorph. Wow. That was pretty much played in a commanding fashion there by TickleMyElmo. You know, it seemed like he was starting to get a little bit worried there, losing a base, and also that fourth base being taken care of by Xenomorph, but